listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Welcome to the American Pharmacists Association's 2024 podcast coverage of the annual meeting in Exposition held on March 22nd through 25th in Orlando, Florida. This year's theme, Unleashing the Power of Pharmacy, was designed to empower pharmacists to embrace your role as change agents and help revolutionize the profession. This is the APhA Podcast Power of Pharmacy post show in collaboration with the Pharmacy Podcast Network. Here's a P2 pharmacy student from the University of Tennessee College of Pharmacy, Mary Zetterberg.
Hello and welcome to the APhA Podcast. I am your guest host, Dr. Candice Olushala, and I am here with a student pharmacist, Mary Zetterberg. Hello and welcome to the show, girl.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today.
Yes. So let us know, who are you representing, what school, what year are you, and what brings you to APhA this year?
So I am a second-year student pharmacist at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. Our school has 3 different campuses, so I'm in the Memphis campus, and I'm here today as the incoming chapter president. So I'm super excited. This is my first annual conference, so I'm super excited to be here and represent the school and just get to meet other people and other things, yeah.
Y'all, the way I just shimmied for her, I was like, yes, queen, you better be the chapter president coming in. I'm so proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
So
Thank
tell
you.
me a little bit about, what is it about the profession of pharmacy that actually drives you to want to go through pharmacy school at a time like this?
So I graduated high school in 2020, so at the beginning of the pandemic. And so from when I graduated high school, you kind of realized how important pharmacy was, and just in their, how Walgreens didn't close, they were still open, and just how accessible pharmacy was, and especially in terms of vaccines. And so that really sparked my interest in pharmacy and caused me to wonder, maybe I do want to pursue a field in pharmacy, just how accessible the healthcare is, and how anybody can come to you with a question about a drug, and then you are able to answer. You know all of the information about the drugs. You are the drug expert. And I think that was really cool to specialize in kind of a niche field, but also be able to help everybody in the community as well.
That's good. I love that as a student during the pandemic that's what you picked up on. Mm-hmm. Because it was harder. It was hard on the side of the profession to try to, you almost felt like you were holding America up, mm-hmm, right? Sure. Through this pandemic. Sure. And it was nice that you picked up on the fact that there was a fight. There was a fight to see people get what they need in the midst of a major crisis, mm-hmm, and that drew you to the profession. So how, as a student, especially now that you're president-elect of the student chapter, how do you see the voice of the student actually mattering now before they even become licensed pharmacists? What is it about the voice of a student that is necessary today?
I think the voice of a student is vital for the field of pharmacy because we are the future of the profession. And so as we're in school, as we're learning in different ways compared to how my professors learn and the pharmacists I work with. Technology is rapidly changing, and so we can be the new face of pharmacy and be able to bring in a new perspective. I feel like all of us have been greatly impacted by COVID in terms of our education, and so we've had to adapt, and so being able to adapt as well is really important for the field of pharmacy. And so just being able to bring in a fresh and new perspective and just be able to learn from our experience as well.
I think that's so nice to make known that the differences, even from year to year, it's changing so fast. And there's things that you honestly don't even have the access to pick up on when you finally have that license and you're working, that students are getting. And so you find out things like, what? I didn't know that was going on. Where did you find that? It's just nice to have that fresh eye that is not always accessible after you're graduated. So thank you for even wanting to step into the role that you're about to step into and encourage other students to know that their voice is actually vital. I love that you specifically use that word, because technically we are the heartbeat of healthcare. We are the ones that you can access at 2 o'clock in the morning pretty easily, right? So I thank you for that, and I'm really excited for your next year being able to step into that role. Good luck with school. Get through block exams. All of you students, you are going to get through blocks, and you're going to get through your IPHs and APhAs, and you're gonna do the thing. So I'm proud of you. Thank you for being on the show today. Guys, I hope you encourage our future students, and if you are a student listening, I hope you are encouraged to keep pushing through all of the challenges that the school goes through. But you can do it, and we need you now for the profession. You are both our present and our future. So thank you guys for what you're already doing, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks again, Mary.
Thank you.
Todd Urey interviews one of the 50 most influential people of pharmacy 2023 awards, P4 student and multiple association leader, Haley McKeefer.
A big part of this profession is the future of pharmacy. So when we have pharmacy students engage with us, especially the ones that are standing out based on how much you're hustling. I like that word, hustling. It's inspiring to us. Haley, you are an inspiration. You are an inspiration to me in seeing what is happening in the student sector of pharmacy, the future of the profession. Welcome to the APHA's 2024 post show.
Thank you for having me.
So Haley, you are one of the Pharmacy 50 2023 most influential, and it's for a reason. It's because you're active. You're active in social media. You're active in you're the profession already. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, what school you're at, what stage you're at, and what sector of pharmacy you want to go into.
Yeah, my name is Haley. I'm a fourth-year candidate at the University of North Texas Health Science Center College of Pharmacy in the DFW Metroplex. I am currently serving as the chair of the Academy of Student Pharmacists within the Texas Pharmacy Association, and have had numerous other leadership and service roles with ASHP, APHA, Phi Lambda Sigma, and am honored to be walking that stage in less than a month or so.
So when I think of other students that are listening into this interview, I want to just give them a little bit of a loving push, and that is to become involved. We can't expect our profession to get any better if there aren't pharmacists who are passionate enough to say, hey, we know every industry under the sun, doesn't matter what it is, healthcare, not healthcare, is ever perfect, right? And there's always these things that are happening internal that is disrupting it in a negative way, right? So talk to us about your vision as a pharmacy future leader.
I completely agree and echo that. One of the things that I try to do as a leader within Texas Pharmacy Association is share with other students that we are an advocate every time we put on that white coat. I think we get really flustered or pressured or shy whenever we're told, hey, reach out to your representative, or reach out, speak, whatever those big things are. And I know that sometimes I feel like I don't have a voice as a trainee because I'm still learning. I don't want to make mistakes. I am trying to figure out the landscape. But then I remind myself that every time I put on that white coat, every time I make an intervention for a patient or help them even just pick out something in the aisle, I'm being that advocate. I'm showing them the power of what pharmacy has to offer them. I'm showing them the power of the knowledge that I'm gaining as a pharmacist intern. And I love sharing that sentiment with student pharmacists across the state, growing my network more nationally, and so sharing that sentiment with them too, that the advocacy doesn't need to be participation at a capitol or visiting your legislator. It can be just talking to your patient one-on-one, and then sharing that story with others around you, sharing that story with eventually your representatives, your senators, whatever it may be. Let them know what you're doing for their constituents and for your patients, and what you want to do once you become that licensed pharmacist.
What sector of pharmacy interests you the most right now? There's so many things happening. I entered pharmacy in 2004. It's my 20th anniversary in the profession. And something that I noticed is there's more opportunities today, even though it might be smaller bunches. But out of 305,000 active pharmacists just in the United States, not even talking about Canada or other places, I'm seeing more and more creativity come from pharmacists leading artificial intelligence development, rare disease states research, pediatrics. Like, what sector are you most interested in?
For me, I love what pharmacy is about, and I really admire y'all's work on echoing that to the general public. And I want the job of the pharmacist to be as simple as possible. So it took me a while to figure out where I wanted to go with my post-grad path. I have accepted an offer through the Rutgers Pharmaceutical Industry Fellowship Program.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I will be an incoming health policy and communications fellow with the National Pharmaceutical Council in D.C., and that is within the RPIF program. There, I hope to learn more about just the back end of how our health system works, how our regulatory bodies, our government institutions, how that ecosystem of allowing the pharmacist to do the job that they are capable of, how can we make that as simple and efficient as possible, as accessible as possible? Because as the most accessible healthcare provider in the United States, I think we should be able to provide the excellent care that I know I'm being trained to, but that we get properly reimbursed for it, that we are properly recognized by other healthcare professionals, by the general public for the work that we do. So those are all things that I am passionate about, and I'm looking forward to learning more about the back end of it all and how to make it simple for the general public to understand what we do and how they can utilize us as a resource.
If someone's listening, they want to make a connection with you, what platform is your favorite to connect through?
LinkedIn is probably my favorite, and I'm saying that smiling because I get a lot of people that are like, "Oh my gosh, I know you off LinkedIn," and I'm like, "Okay,
I have to
let's
agree
connect."
with you. LinkedIn's my favorite for business. I think right now, I used to be a Twitter fan, but it's just changed, and it's not as popular as it was. I wasn't getting as much attention in our programming. Now our programming is getting more attention through Instagram.
Yeah, and outside of LinkedIn, I'd say Instagram. I was the same way. I really miss my Med Twitter or Twitter RX communities way back when. But yeah, jumped off that platform and really moved over to Instagram in 2022. So I've been trying to pump out the content there and meet other influencers and content creators. It's been really cool to meet some of them here at this conference, and looking forward to it.
I want to say something about that. Pharmacy students, pharmacists out there, social media is so important as a part of public health and communications. So LinkedIn is more about that B2B and professional to professional environment. However, Instagram, there's still a ton of consumers that are consuming content and looking and searching for things that they're concerned about, just as they do with TikTok, for example. So if you're listening and you are a pharmacy student, you need to get involved in social media now to prepare yourself to then impact and influence public health understanding of what's happening. So don't ever combo different platforms and find the one that you like the best and stick to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head with that on being able to relay your message to scientific professionals is really great, and I'm glad it's something that we are taught in our schools, but how do you then translate that to just talking to a patient, and that patient may be across the counter and maybe across the screen. Yep. So some of the folks I really enjoy following and learning from, the Fit Pharmacist, Learn with Libby, Industry PharmD, all of those are really inspirational creators, and it's exciting to see what they've done not only for our patients, but just the non-traditional PharmD paths that you mentioned earlier.
Haley, thank you so much. We're big fans. So proud of what you've done already.
Thank you.
In your short time in the pharmacy profession, but there's so much more that I know that you're going to do. So we can't wait to watch and learn.
Absolutely. Collabs in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And now, Dr. Candace Alushala interviews the co-founder of Black Women in Charge Incorporated and pharmacy student Brea Stevens at Regis University School of Pharmacy.
Hello and welcome back to the APHA podcast. I am your host, Dr. Candace is Olushala, and I am here with another one of our amazing students, Bria Stevens. Hey, girl. How you doing?
How are you? I'm good. Blessed.
Yes, girl, and highly favored.
What?
Okay. So, first off, tell us what school you're representing, what year you are, and what brings you to APhA this year.
So I go to Xavier University of Louisiana College of Pharmacy. I'm a third-year pharmacy student there, and my school actually sponsored me to come to APhA. So what a blessing. I feel like I needed to, get out of the classroom, more of that, leave the clinical for just a little second and come to the humanities side of what's changing in the pharmacy realm, what new drugs are going to be on the market, what are these industries thinking, just try to stay up to date.
Yes, that's right. Students, get out the classroom, and schools sponsor your kids.
Sponsor them. They want to learn.
Okay, I love that. Good job, Xavier. Y'all are doing the thing. So, what is it about pharmacy that even drew you to the profession, and especially at a time like this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It actually goes way back. So, funny story. Back in high school, I was trying to figure out what was I good at? Because people were like, oh, base your career off things you're good at. I was like, okay. I was only one of the few people good at chemistry. Everybody was terrified of chemistry, and I was like, chemistry is actually easy. Period. I can probably do this long term. So that kind of drew my love for chemistry. But then my grandmother, she actually suffered from an aneurysm, and they were thinking it was because of drug interactions that kind of pushed that condition on her. So that was how I was in my head at the ripe age of maybe 16, 17, 18, I don't know. But just thinking, how could that have been prevented? And then that's when I started doing research, and I found out that pharmacists are the people that prevent all of those things, save lives every day. Because we're all human. Where somebody's going to make an error somewhere. We're not perfect. So having that second line of defense as pharmacists, we can prevent all of that. And that's so cool.
See, I love the personal stories that bring people to the profession, because that's actually the heart of what makes the profession what it is. It is those personal, real life experiences that we've had, and we start to empathize with people who have been in those similar situations, and we want to help bridge those gaps.
Exactly,
for them.
And break the cycles.
Yes.
There's so many things that we could prevent, so many. I feel just spreading the knowledge. I even do it back at home. My parents probably think I'm insane, but I'm don't take that drug with that. But I'm nobody's telling you not to take it, but it's so good to have that one person that's going to speak up and be no, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't take that medication with that, or you shouldn't eat this food with this medication you're taking. It's just I don't know. I feel kind of like a superwoman.
Yeah, of course. I actually want to talk to you about this, and let me know if this is something you're comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
But we are Black women, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot that goes on in the profession that actually affects people like us with Black and brown skin, people who have accents, people that speak different languages, are from areas of society that don't always have the adequate or quality resources that other areas of the country do. And so how, as a Black woman, do you step into becoming a pharmacist? What about being a Black woman drives you to look out for things like that in the context of other people of color that may struggle with getting what they actually need?
So I think we lived it. We live it every day. We continue to live it. Before I was training to be a pharmacist, I lived it. But after I'm going to be a pharmacist, I'm still going to live it. And I think it all starts just looking within and realizing, just aligning yourself. I feel I align myself with I align myself with God. I'm a Christian, so I really, the values are already kind of just morally there. So every time I see something wrong, I feel I am going to speak up. One, because I have the platform and the privilege to do so. Being able to come this far, being able to go to Xavier, being able to make it through college, is already such a privilege that a lot of people don't have, and it's so important to just like look back and grab those people that are like they don't have it, or at least as a Black woman, I pride myself on having the privilege to speak up. Like even being here today is such a privilege, and I'm gaining this information today and bringing it back to Xavier so that we can actually make sustainable, long-lasting change. So that's how I try to move, like as a Black woman pharmacist, try to move and make sure I'm like looking out for people. I worked at Walgreens for a time, and there were so many Black people that would come in like uninsured and stuff, and I'm like, instead of just like brushing them off or whatever because we're so busy, no, you take the time out and you tell those people about their options. What do they have? Can go back and talk to your doctor, tell them that there is an alternative, and kind of empowering those people to speak up like you can, because
Yes.
It's like kind of like a provider-patient relationship. It's kind of like superiority, inferiority complex. Like Black people, people of color in general, they already kind of feel intimidated by that space, and they feel like they can't speak up and advocate for themselves. So it takes people like us that can just tell them like, no, you actually can, and they're gonna listen. And if they don't listen, you just go somewhere else. Why do do what you can? So yeah, that was a spill, but that's that.
Yes,
that's how I move.
I resonate a lot with that, and it was during pharmacy school working as a pharmacist intern behind the counter at Walgreens, where that's what we were doing, right? And seeing, to me, I think it was seeing my very first Black patient, who she maybe was in her 50s, walk up to the counter, and she was stunned that she realized she'd never seen a Black woman behind the counter. Oh. And she was so excited.
Yeah, but it made her feel so warm inside, safe.
Yes. She was like, wait, she literally was like, one of us is back here?
I love that.
So, and it clicked for me. I'm like, wait, I'm in a room that people that look like me aren't usually in.
Exactly.
And now I felt the responsibility to be like, okay, I have an opportunity to bridge gaps that are rarely even looked at, and have the adequate staffing, if you will, to be able to bridge it. And I want to move with that in mind, going through school, going through my boards, like I'm doing this because there's an area of the bridge that has broken and it's not being addressed, and I have the ability to see it, so I'm gonna do what I can now so I can run over there later and like really hold this bridge.
Yes. And I commend you and all the girlies, the Black girlies out there, or all people of color that are just, taking a look back at like things that need to be fixed and not becoming like victims to the system.
Yep.
And just fixing it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so cool.
We gotta do this. So I appreciate you, Bria, for even coming as a student and asserting yourself to look at what's going on and assessing the landscape of what it is now, so you can start thinking ahead and moving accordingly. But by the time you are out, you're going to have a knowledge and a strength about you that will really empower the profession. And we're excited for students like you to join us on the license side, but know that the voice that you have right now is very valid and very powerful as well. So that is not just for you, that is for all the other students that are listening to this episode. You guys have a valid voice today. We need your voice today, because there's things that you guys see that behind the counter aren't really grasped, because we're not always getting the most up-to-date stuff. Yeah. So your eyes, your ears are crucial to the momentum of the movement of pharmacy. So please like I'm begging you, please speak up. Schools, please advocate for your students to speak up. Advocate for each other, because pharmacy is the heartbeat of healthcare. We're the most accessible healthcare professional out there. You can call us at 2 o'clock in the morning and find one of us, okay? We are somewhere to talk to. So the public needs this. We need that type of vulnerability. And so I really appreciate us being able to talk about this today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks again, girl.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
We interview aspiring industry pharmacist and P2 pharmacy student Madeline with Drake University School of Pharmacy.
Hello and welcome welcome to the APhA podcast. I am your guest host, Dr. Candace Olushala, and I am here with one of our amazing students, Madeline Isles.
Yes, you did it.
Girl.
Oh my God.
And I'm so excited to talk with her. We've had a series of students come through, and we're just picking their brains on how this experience has been. So Madeline, thanks for sitting down and talking with us today.
Yes, thank you so much. It's definitely really cool to be here. I've never done something like this before, so this has been such a rewarding experience.
Nice. Okay, so let the people know what school you represent, what year you are, and why did you decide to come to APhA this year?
Oh yeah, okay. So my name is Madeline Isles, and I am a P2 at Drake University, and I'm getting both a PharmD and a MSHIA. So yeah, that sounds kind of crazy. I don't think a lot of people know what that is, but it's a Master's in Health Informatics and Analytics. So I love data. I'm a nerd. I mean, there's a reason why I'm in pharmacy school.
Yes.
So I definitely do love just playing with data and all that stuff. But this is my first time ever being at APhA Annual. So this has been so far an incredible experience. I definitely recommend anybody to go to it.
Nice. And you said, what year are you?
I'm a P2.
You're a P2. Okay.
Yes.
See, I find it interesting because not a lot of P2s show up to an APhA type of conference. So why as a P2 are you at APhA this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm here because I'm the president-elect of APhA at Drake University.
This is the second president-elect I've talked to. I am so happy for these students. Good job, girl.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely, going into pharmacy school, it was really intimidating, and I could never have imagined myself like getting to this point. I thought that it definitely was going to be a lot more difficult, but I feel like I've had such a great support system, and we always send like our president-elect to APhA, and so I'm here with 4 of my friends here at Drake University. So yeah, it's definitely I've never been to Annual, I've never been to Orlando, so this is just I'm speechless.
She's enjoying it over here, guys.
Oh my God, yeah, I am.
So, okay, you said you're a nerd.
Yes.
You love the informatics side, which
Yes.
honestly, not a lot of people are running towards informatics. Like, it's always the select, 3 in the class, they're like, team data, you know? And so I love this about you. It makes you a unicorn in the profession, and we need all the unicorns we can get. Okay.
That was the perfect description for that, a unicorn.
There you go. We need pharmacy unicorns. Mm-hmm. And so, why data? You said you love it, but what is it about data, especially in the context of pharmacy and where healthcare is right now, that drives you to want to focus so intently on the informatics side?
Yeah. So right now, the future of pharmacy is growing so much. We both know that. Mm-hmm. I think that we've seen it been growing since this past decade. And so I think for me, it's growing with the change. A lot of it is going from paperless to we're going online, and we're making AI. And so many pharmacy careers are now going into the techie world. And so I wanted to grow along with that. And I also love research. I love analyzing data. I love picking into the Excel spreadsheets and making a story out of data. And I think a lot of people don't realize that is you can get a bunch of information thrown in front of you, but you need to make it come to life. And that's how we have made research. That's how we have discovered drugs. This is how we make solutions. And so I definitely want to be part of that change, and it's very inspiring to me to see what people are doing now with it.
Wow. She wants to make data a story. That's beautiful, by the way, because I don't think anyone thinks about data in a story format. So to give it that, and to give it color, and to give it texture, especially in a world like AI, there's a metaverse,
oh my God, yeah.
So many things. There's an endless world of opportunities when it comes to informatics right now.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, and also with pharmacy, like everybody is relying on pharmaceuticals right now. And to be able to help people out there who are going to need this information to make more educated decisions is going to be so essential for the future. So,
So what is your advice for students, whether it's informatics specifically, or it is that kind of highly niched area of healthcare that they really are passionate about? What would you say to them to encourage them in this time, while they're in school, going on rotations and things like that?
oh gosh, I think as a student, one thing that is so difficult right now is that pharmacy is hard. It was hard to begin with, but then now that the whole career path is growing, we are learning more, the content is getting more difficult, and that's okay. Like, that's just like the future of pharmacy as evolution goes. But I think the curriculum is getting harder, and a lot of people get discouraged, and so I think a lot of people just need to believe in themselves more. They need to put themselves out more. I feel like a lot of people, it's okay to be a turtle. It's okay to be shy. I was shy too, but I think putting yourself out there, like, you're not going to lose anything. It's not going to come back. You're not going to trip and fall. The only thing that you're going to do if you push yourself is be better than where you were 2 steps back. And I think that is definitely what I recommend to anybody going into MSHIA or MBA or diabetes concentration, anything. It's just like, put yourself out there, because it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to make you better. So
I love that. You can be a turtle. But even turtles bring their head out of their shell sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And then there's a turtle wins the race type of story.
That's true.
Yes.
That tortoise.
We've known this since 1st grade, guys.
They've literally been telling us this our whole lives. So let's put this thing to practice, okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking to me today. I really appreciate this. And
It's been a pleasure.
those of you guys that were listening today, I hope you're encouraged, especially if you're a student, that fellow students see you. They're with you in this, going through the exams and the studying, and still having a passion for what's coming on the other side of all of this. It's a feat to get through, but you guys are doing it, and we're really proud of you guys for what you're doing and why you're doing it. Your voices are still very much needed today while you're students, because you guys see things and recognize things that behind the counter we're not always picking up very rapidly or willingly even. So we appreciate you guys, and we encourage you guys to keep pushing through. And good luck with finishing out school, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. And I think one last advice I want to give people is, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid of anything.
Yeah.
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 It's definitely a lot easier said than done.
True.
But nothing is worth holding yourself back from.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Pharmacy might not always look like it, but it actually is a network of colleagues who want to support each other.
Yes.
So start speaking up now, because you're actually building relationships that you're going to need in the future.
I agree.
So-
I agree.
Thanks, guys, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Have a good day.
Here's Pharmacy 50 Award winner with second most influential person in pharmacy 2023, community pharmacy owner and Pharmacy Gladiator founder, Dr. Jay Phipps.
APhA 2024, I am here with Pharmacy 50, one of the most influential people in the pharmacy profession, Jay Phipps. I am so excited to interview you today.
Excited to be here at APhA with you.
Jay and I were talking before we got in this interview, and you told a very special story about how you became integrated and tapped in and really personalizing what the APhA means to you. And it was when you were a student. I want you to tell that story, because I think it's a very relevant and special story.
Well, Todd, before I got in pharmacy school, I had never been involved in an organization. I participated in them, but I had never been a leader. And my first semester at UT had an opportunity to go to an APhA ASP regional meeting in Raleigh, North Carolina. I went because it was going to be fun. Had an opportunity to go have a good time, right? And we went there, and I really got involved in APHA's processes, found it very interesting. And so then I went back and I kept talking about it and learning and trying to figure out more. And as I did, I decided that I would run for a regional office. So the next year, I ran for a regional office for APhA ASP, was fortunate enough to win, came to a APhA ASP, or APhA meeting, just like the one we're at now in California, in LA, and ran for national APhA ASP president. I was blessed enough to win, and it really changed my life. Because of that, then I became the first voting member of the APhA Board of Trustees, and met people from all over the country. And one of my core values is relationships, and that gave me the opportunity to have relationships, build relationships. And so when I was in my residency for drug information, because I thought I was going to work for one of the big pharma companies as a medical liaison, I got a call, and the call was from somebody I met at APhA and said, "We're opening a pharmacy. We would like for you to come work with us." And I, as a very bold 20-some-year-old, said, "I won't work for you, but I'll be glad to be a partner." And so we met. I became a partner, opened a pharmacy. My first day owning a independent pharmacy was the day I opened my own. And then about a year and a half later, I bought the partners out, and I've been on my own ever since. And so everything that I do is based on coming to a meeting just like this one. So it
incredible.
Really has changed my life.
So one of the themes of the APHA's meeting is empowering pharmacy, empowering pharmacists, empowering our patients through pharmacy. But leadership is one of the main points, and you are just an incredible leader, not only in your own community, what you did through some of the disasters that your community went through, and we've talked with you on other podcasts about that, but also the leadership of your own pharmacy, your technicians, the pharmacists that work for you. And you come at things from a servant leader perspective, not a overbearing and being a leader doesn't necessarily mean that you're in charge of everything. What it means is that you're inspirational and you're empowering and you're inspiring. Talk to us about your leadership over the years.
I'll say it's definitely evolved. I have grown so much in a leader. I had a conversation this morning with a group and was talking about how I was as a leader 5 years ago, 10 years ago, a year ago, 20 years ago, the whole as I've transformed as a leader. And to me, I try to be a transformational leader. I try to inspire. I try to build in and serve and give to my team members, the people that I'm involved with. I want to empower them and make them better. I want to make them as the best leader they can be. The leaders that want to be the smartest one in the room and always be right, that's not me. We're going to fail if I'm the smartest one in the room. I work really hard to make sure I've got great people around me and build and give into them, and really, really strive to make everybody on my team better. And I do that whether it's at home, whether it's at the pharmacy. I'm a county commissioner, whether it's the county. I serve on the Chamber of Commerce. I'm an advisor for one of the high schools for their BioSTEM. So it doesn't matter. It's all about building and giving people opportunities. People gave me opportunities to do what I do and to build. And to me, it's about giving that back and trying to build and make people better people. And then there'll be better team members, better people in the community. And overall, we'll all raise the bar and we'll all excel.
Jay, there is something special that you've created. There's a theme, there's a mantra per se, there's a phrase that you keep using and I see come up every once in a while. It's become really a campaign. Talk to our listeners what it is to be a pharmacy gladiator.
That warms my heart to hear you talk about pharmacy gladiators. And I'll be honest, Todd, when I came up with that idea, I wasn't sure if it would stick, if people would buy into it and believe it. And last year I was at an annual meeting and walking down the hall, and this group of people stopped and said, "Hey, is that the pharmacy gladiator guy?" And I knew that it had stuck. So it's really about us finding our purpose as healthcare professionals, as people in our community, and as ourselves. Like, what is our purpose? And then let's be passionate and relentless in the pursuit of that. And for most of us in the pharmacy profession, it's improving the profession of pharmacy, improving the care for our patients, and working to propel all those things together. So, but to do it, I think it's for me, And as you hear the criteria as you hear the agenda of this meeting, you will hear that there's this bullying going on, this desire to improve and empower and to overcome. And being a pharmacy gladiator is about being relentless in that pursuit. You have to be relentless. That's really the reason that I've been successful, and that I think that the profession will be successful, is because we are relentless. We do not give up. And it's really about trying to conquer the coliseums in our community. How do we do that? What you do in your community, what I do in mine, what pharmacy technicians and pharmacy students do, then we all have our own community. So we need to relentlessly pursue that purpose and really conquer that coliseum in our community.
That in and of itself is so inspiring. The posts that you put out through social media and through LinkedIn resonate and continuously promote that attitude of being a fighter for our patients, for our employees, for our families and communities. So pharmacy has really taken a punch in the face over the last 3-5 years with the burnout, with what the pandemic did to our teams, to our pharmacists, to our technicians. But now it's a time of healing and rebuilding. And I really feel that the profession is rising together. And we're starting to look at what's holding us back. We're starting to redefine how things are paid, what's being paid, why it's being paid, what's the follow-up and outcomes of that, of those clinical services. Starting to draw away from the dispensing and allowing technology and AI to kind of be part of that automation side of things, so a pharmacist can really concentrate on disease states and other things. Talk to us about the evolution of that in our profession and the role of our pharmacist from your perspective.
That's a great question. Great insight and comments about that. When I first got out of pharmacy school, we were happy, content, and made good livings by just giving pills out. And we'd give information, and we tried. We really did care about our patients. But we were not working at the top of our license. We were not providing patients the care that they deserved, in my opinion. And I think that myself and others would probably take accountability that we didn't do a great job with that. We were doing good, but we weren't giving them the care that they truly deserved. But as time has went on, we have grown, and really it's about believing in yourself. And I think a lot of that was we were told so much that we couldn't do it. You can't prescribe, you can't adjust doses, you can't do these things, and really it was about us finding that in ourselves, and we all have it. We all have that inner desire, that drive to provide better care, the drive to be better, and then as pharmacists to provide better care. And so I think we have evolved, and I really do believe that we are at a very pivotal point in our profession. I think I've used this before, but it's like a volcano about to erupt. There's earthquakes that happen before a volcano erupts. You can see the steam coming up, and if you're at this meeting where there's people from all practice sites, you see it. It doesn't matter, from pharmacy students to independent practitioners to people that are independent, that own their own practice, chain environment, whether they're working for pharma, irregardless, you see that desire and drive to actually propel the profession. And to me, this is exciting. That's the one thing about this meeting. It may not be practice specific, but to see the desire and the drive across the profession at APHA is, to me, extremely exciting and empowering, and it really does get you juiced up again. I say it's like going to church camp. You get fired up and you're ready to go and promote the profession again. To me, I'm super excited about what we see. We let a lot of people control what we do, and we have, I believe, in the last few years, decided to control our own destiny. If we don't control our destiny, we will be controlled and we will be eliminated. So we have to remain relentless in this pursuit. We have to focus on our destiny. I was reminded yesterday that I guess I was one of the first student presidents that had a theme when I was APHA ASP president. It was Bridging Dreams to Destiny. and that was 25 years ago. But to me, it is about that destiny as providers, and sometimes you forget that. And to me, we have the opportunity now to remain relentless, pursue that destiny, and I think the profession will be much better in the long run. Sometimes going through adversity is what makes you better, and we've had adversity, and this is just going to bring us together so we can really reach our full potential.
It's so good seeing you. It's always good listening to you, being inspired by you. If people that are listening to the APHA 2024 post show want to learn more about Pharmacy Gladiator or linking up with you, where should they go?
LinkedIn. I'm Jay Phipps, Dr. Jay Phipps, the Pharmacy Gladiator. I will say that in my spare time, I'm working on my MBA. And one of my projects in my entrepreneurial classes right now is developing a website. So within 2-3 months, you'll see a website, the pharmacygladiator.com, and I'll be able to get information about where I'm going. One of my big things now is giving keynote addresses. I really enjoy going out and meeting people and talking and trying to inspire them to really reach their full potential. So that'll be where you can find out about me in the near future by the end of April of 24, depending on when you're listening to this, and I'm excited about that. But LinkedIn and Instagram, Dr. J. Phipps, on both of those, you can find my information now.
Jay, thank you so much for being part of the post show. Can't wait to see you again and collaborate and work with you. Anything I can do to support you, let us know.
Thanks for all you do for the profession.
Thank you.